Jim Carrey is a great character, and I was lucky to get the part. I don't think of that as me anymore. I used to be a guy who was experiencing the world, and now I feel like the world and the universe experiencing a guy. I don't believe that you exist. I don't believe in personalities. I believe that it's deeper than that. There is no me.
Was nothing real?
You were real.
Then who am I?
On February 26th, a man walked onto stage in Paris. He had shoulder-length black hair. He gave a speech in French. The internet lost its mind because to millions of people watching, that wasn't Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey attended the 51st César Awards in Paris, his first major public appearance of the year, to receive an honorary César Award for his lifetime contribution to cinema. He delivered his acceptance speech in French and thanked his family, his daughter Jane, his grandson Jackson, and his girlfriend Minna, whom he was introducing publicly for the first time. The crowd gave him a standing ovation. It should have been a warm, simple moment. Instead, footage of the actor began circulating on TikTok, Instagram, and X. Viewers zeroed in on his appearance. The shoulder-length black hair, the clean-shaven face, the smoothness of it. And then someone said it out loud. That's not him. The conspiracy didn't start in some dark corner of the internet. It got a push from someone with a following. British makeup artist and drag performer Alexis Stone posted photos on Instagram captioned Alexis Stone as Jim Carrey in Paris, alongside images of a prosthetic mask, dentures, and a wig that looked exactly like what Carrey wore that night. Reddit threads dissected his movements and expressions. Users argued the person on stage lacked the high-energy, elastic-faced style from his early career. Someone dug up old clips and claimed Carrey was left-handed, and the man on stage signed autographs with his right. One Instagram reel said dark forces had replaced the Jim Carrey we know and love. Some fans wrote R.I.P. Jim Carrey in the comments. Officials came out fast. The general delegate of the César Awards told Variety that the whole thing was a non-issue, adding that the appearance had been planned since the summer. 8 months of conversations, and that Carrey had worked on his French speech for months, asking about exact pronunciation of specific words. He came with his partner, his daughter, his grandson, and 12 close friends. Prosthetic specialist David Malinowski weighed in directly. He is absolutely not wearing a mask. In my expert professional opinion, that's 100% Jim Carrey. And the final slide of Alexis Stone's own post, the one that started everything, was identified as an AI-generated image of the prosthetics kit. So the so-called proof of a conspiracy was actually fake. Here's what makes this more interesting than just another celebrity rumor. This isn't the first time people have looked at Jim Carrey and said, something's off about him. In 2017, he gave a red carpet interview at New York Fashion Week where he said, "There is no me. There's just things happening and there are clusters of tetrahedrons moving around together." People thought he'd lost it. 2022, he told Access Hollywood he was fairly serious about retiring from acting. People thought he was gone. Then he shows up in Paris, unrecognizable, speaking French, calm as a monk. And then naturally, the internet begins to speculate he's been replaced. But what if that's exactly what he wanted? Jim Carrey has spent his entire career playing with identity, the mask, a nobody who puts on a face and becomes something else entirely. The Truman Show, a man who doesn't know his whole life is a performance. Man on the Moon, an actor playing a comedian who spent his life pretending to be other people. This is a man who blurred the line between real and performance his entire life, on purpose. The host of the César ceremony that night actually put on the yellow suit for the mask and performed a full musical number impersonating Carrey as a part of the tribute. So at an event literally themed around impersonation and illusion, a drag artist posts a fake prosthetics kit, and the whole world spends a week arguing about whether Jim Carrey is real. If he planned that, even loosely, it's one of the greatest stunts of his career. There's something underneath all of this that's worth sitting with. Jim Carrey has talked for years about the idea that identity is a kind of performance, that the self people present to the world is constructed, maintained, a mask. He literally said at a Fashion Week event, "There is no me." And now he shows up after years of near total absence, looking like a different person, at a ceremony where the host is dressed as one of his most famous characters, and a makeup artist immediately posts a fake mask claiming to be him. And the internet, right on cue, decides the real Jim Carrey has been replaced. Maybe he didn't orchestrate all of that, but you get the feeling he'd appreciate every second of it. Here's the uncomfortable part. We looked at Jim Carrey, a 64-year-old man who got older, maybe had some work done, grew his hair out, and learned French for a speech he clearly cared about. And we decided that was impossible, that it had to be somebody else. Because the version of Jim Carrey we hold in our heads is still the rubber-faced guy from 1994. And when reality doesn't match the version we've decided is real, we don't update the version, we reject the reality. Which is kind of exactly what Jim Carrey has been trying to tell us about perception for 30 years. The Mask came out in 1994. It's about a guy who puts on a face and becomes something completely different. Something people can't look away from. Something nobody can fully explain. Jim Carrey stood on stage in Paris, delivered a tearful speech in a language he taught himself for the occasion, surrounded by his daughter, his grandson, and the people he loves. And we spent a week arguing about whether he was real. Maybe he was wearing a mask. Maybe he took it off. Maybe after all this time, we still don't know which one is which. And maybe that's the whole point.
In case I don't see ya. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Who are you?